I have spent 7 years in this game. My early years were the same process over and over again, somehow expecting a different outcome. I sit down at my desk with no levels map, no bias, no plan. 10 different discords open telling myself today will be different. The first single day comes through and I already know I'm late to it, but I just slap the contracts anyway because sitting on my hands feels worse than losing money. Then the trade goes against me and I start making excuses why the dollars delete themselves from my account. Today's just choppy. I'll just hold it. It has to bounce. Blah, blah, blah. Here's the reality. I never wrote any of this down, so there was never a real lesson. Just a feeling that faded by the next morning, which meant the next day I ran the same process and got stuck in that loop for months. Heck, maybe even years, because I kept forcing trades that I had no business taking and paying for every single one of them. Not always in money, sometimes just in time I'll never get back, because nobody sat me down in year one and told me what I actually needed to hear. So I'm gonna be that guy for you right now. These are the hardest lessons, the ones that took me way too long to learn the hard way, straight from 7 years in the trenches. Let's get into it. This is the hardest lessons I've learned in 7 years of trading. Lesson 1, master one system. This is what I like to refer to as the shiny object syndrome. Traders, they'll watch my videos or watch someone else's videos and they'll be like, oh, well, I saw Ellie uses the 3 minute, so I'm just going to use the 3 minute. And then they get rinsed. They don't understand the context of the 3 minute is meant for the open only. Or they see me post about 30-minute setups. They go, I'm only going to trade 30-minute setups. No. What you need to understand is you need to master one system. And that one system is the 10-minute time frame, something called the LE model. Because every time you reset, so let's say you make some progress trading another strategy and you go, I'm going to switch it. You come back down and you start from zero. And then you learn the system, you keep running it up, and then you hit some sort of cap, and then you start from zero. And every time you reset which shiny object you're going to look at, your goals, okay, say you want to quit your job in 2 years, well, that just became 5 years, 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, because every time you switch, you start from zero. You need to master one system. If you want to trade a trend system like I do, hey, good for you. Okay, if you want to learn a system, that's okay. But every time you reset your goal time frame. You are not going to quit your job by switching a system in 3 months. That's not how it works. This is a year-long journey. To get really good at one system, it is going to take you a year. So if you change it after 3 months, congratulations. Well, you just started 3 months into your journey. Now you switched. Now, if you're going to learn another system, it's 15 months. Oh, and then you switch after 15 months. Now you're looking at 2+ years to have any sort of hope of progress and becoming successful at this game. You need to master one system because the more you focus on one, you learn all of its nuances, then you can learn something else. This is a super common problem I see with traders. They chase this new shiny object, whether it's flow or whatever, and then they just switch, right? And they reset their entire progress. And this is why some traders take 5 years to become profitable, is because they keep switching. Lesson 2, clean setups only. And what do I mean by clean setups? A clean trend, look, it goes up and up and up and a very slow, slight pullback and then continues higher. This is a dirty setup. We can see it rips all the way up, prints a doji candle, and then prints what we call an MD candle, aka, not a medical doctor, no, a mega death candle. This is not a clean setup. Look, this is a clear rejection and almost a washout move. You want to trade gentle, clean, lazy river type action, not these violent death candles, because these violent death candles often mean the trend is going to switch. Clean setups only. Clear levels, clear trend, clear daily breakout, clear, clear, clear. Okay, if you do not know if it's a clean setup, it's likely a dirty setup, and you need to put that into the trash and spray it down with some Lysol. Versus this clean setup, look, you could lick this and you probably won't get some sort of disease. Lesson 3, never be offsides with the market. This is probably the second most common issue I see with traders in my comments and traders in my community. This is a killer. All the time, every day, I will put in the chat, hey, okay, what's the market doing? And they're like, well, I'm going to buy puts on Tesla. and the market's ripping. SPY and QQQ are ripping, and then they get a giant reversal candle in their face, and they are upset, and their tail is tucked between their legs. Never be offsides with the market, okay? If the market has a strong trend, okay, we can clearly see SPY is just going up and to the right, okay? Anyone can see this is a clean trend. Look, rip, 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 consolidation, rip, rip, rip. You do not want to be buying puts on names because what's going to happen is it's likely going to reverse. SPY acts like a magnet, okay? A magnet, and it's going to suck and vacuum up price action to the upside if SPY is ripping. And if SPY is going down, it's also going to act as a magnet for the names to bring them down. You need to pay attention to this. Just because a name, might be down like 0.5%, it could be printing a bearish outside day, but if SPY is ripping, you do not want to be involved. You always want to stay on sides with the market. Now, if SPY is chopping, okay, say it's just ping-ponging, the rules will change because a chop means SPY is not doing anything. And if a name is selling off a lot or it's ripping, it likely has momentum or relative strength. However, if SPY is going up, you do not want to be stuck trying to buy puts. You will get destroyed. What you want to focus on is, hey, SPY is going up. What's also going up with SPY? Not, oh, look, Tesla's below the pre-market low. Let me short it. No, you're going to get bagged because you were basically trying to fight the market on your Robinhood with 3 contracts. That's not going to work. Market is a lot bigger than your Robinhood account. Trust me, I've done this many, many times and have learned the hard way. So never be off sides with the market. If you want to stay safe and if SPY's chopping, look, if you just wait for SPY to form a outside day, whether it's bearish or bullish, you are going to have a higher win rate versus playing in the in-between and the chop. So if you see SPY's not having an outside day, then don't trade. The problem is you're likely not going to trade very much because that does not always happen. SPY will trend 20% of the time. That means it's going to chop 80% of the time. If you're a futures trader or you're a prop firm trader, this is how they're making money off you because if it's chopping, there is no edge. Be very, very careful. Remember, SPY go up, play stocks that also go up. SPY go down, play stocks that are also going down. SPY and chop, find names with news and momentum. Lesson 4. And this is probably the most important lesson that I think people greatly overlook. Why? Well, trading is marketed as, oh, I'm going to get rich. I just got to click buttons at my desk. But no one sees that there's work that happens off the screen. And 99% of the money as a trader is made when the market is closed. Now, how does that make sense? Well, because there's actually a lot of work in this business. Finding stock to trade, finding setups, journaling your trades, reviewing the day's action. There is a lot of work. Clicking buttons is like 1% of our job. So today I'm going to go over the exact framework that I use to journal my trades. Number 1, what was the setup? Was it a 10-minute flag? Was it purple profits? Was it a daily break, a day 2 earnings move, or a day 3 earnings move, a all-time high breakout, 52-week high breakout? Look, there's a lot. And if you don't know what the setup is, that's okay. No one expects you to be an expert a couple months into your trading journey. But what you need to do is you just need to study a bit more. Write down a couple setups. Hey, maybe you really like all-time high breakouts. That's great. They're really great setups. Or maybe you only like daily flags. Maybe you like 30-minute 3-bar plays. Like there's a lot, but you need to learn your setup. Okay, if you do not know your setup, that means you shouldn't be trading. Number 2, what was the market doing? Was the market going up? Was it going down? Or was it chopping? Okay, if you're buying puts when the market's going up, like we just discussed, you're going to have a bad time. If the market's going down and you're trying to buy Apple calls, what's going to happen? The market's going to act as a magnet, and then your flag's not going to work, and you're going to lose money. Always want to document what the market is doing. Number 3, what time frame are you on? If you're trading something on a 3-minute and you keep getting stopped out over and over again, well, you're going to notice from your data, maybe the 3-minute isn't for you. Maybe you trade on the 1-minute chart and you go through the 1-minute chart and you say, hey, I keep getting stopped out. Maybe the 1-minute isn't for you, but you use the 10-minute chart and you don't get shaken out all the time. Hey, congratulations. You just found out the 10-minute chart is for you. Number 4, entries. Did you enter off a level or an EMA? So remember, there's 4 levels. Previous day high, pre-market high, previous day low, and pre-market low. Or in EMA, I use the 8 EMA. If you did not buy off of any of those levels or off that EMA, then the entry is not valid. High a day and low a day, aka you finally going, I'm going to get in now when it's at the lows or at the highs, is not an entry. What was the exit strategy? What was your plan? Were you going to sell some at the high day and then ride a runner? Where was your stop loss? Were you going to stop under the EMA with a nice fat, body breaking EMA? What was your exit strategy? What was it? Write it down in your own words. If you don't have an exit strategy and your exit strategy is, well, it's up 10%, so see green, take green, that is a huge, huge, huge red flag. And lastly, you want to grade yourself. Did the setup fail? Did the market not do what you wanted it to do? Or did the execution fail? And what do I mean by execution? Well, you are the execution because you are the one pushing the button. And be honest with yourself. It is okay. You are learning. Look, I have taken more dumb trades than probably anyone I know. I am the master of taking dumb trades. So the execution part would be me. But that is how I learn. The only way I've learned in my life is by making mistakes. The problem is if you do not document your mistakes, you are going to just keep doing them over and over again, and you are just going to be on a forever quest to lose money. And what you're going to do is you're going to take all this data and you're going to put it in, if you use Excel or just Google Sheets, you need to track this because data-driven decisions build confidence. Hey, Ellie, how are you so confident that the 80 EMA is going to hold an all-time high breakout? Because I have the data. 7 years worth of data. I've been doing this a long time. The data says this is going to work 82.3% of the time. Okay? Why would I not push the button? You're sitting there saying, well, this guy on YouTube said it's going to work most of the time. And you're just going off of that. That is not confidence. You need your own data because you are your own person with your own flaws and your own, I guess, would be benefits and skills and knowledge and background, right? Everyone is different. That is why you need to journal every single one of your trades. It's non-negotiable because data-driven decisions build confidence. So let's actually go through the exact trade I took that's in my journal. What was this setup? Well, this setup was a pre-market high, previous day high breakout. It is simply just an outside day. So you will label this into your journal, previous day high, pre-market high, breakout. Look, you can see it, previous day highs here. So it gapped up, broke the pre-market high, formed a flag, and went off to the highs. So this was the setup. What was the market doing? The market was chopping. The market was forming what we call an inside day, which is perfectly okay. Look, SPY, it tried to go higher and it rejected. So let's look at the rejection candle versus stock we're trading. Doesn't matter. It didn't do anything. Nothing changed. And look, SPY is just slopping around. Look at all these wicks in here. I mean, this looks like whiskers. It just is terrible. Okay. It is just ping ponging between the pre-market high and the pre-market low. There's no meaningful break to the upside or the downside to give us any sort of caution that our setup would not work. Okay, it's just chop. Okay, just chopping. Remember, SPY chops 80% of the time, but NBIS has momentum. So what was the market doing? The market was chopping, but NBIS was what we call a breakout setup. Look, it's over. It's forming an outside day, clean flag down to the level in EMA, and continues to go higher. What time frame was I on? So if you notice, there's a big 10 here. I was on the 10-minute time frame because if I looked at this on a 5-minute time frame, I would have entered somewhere on this candle right here and I would have been stopped out when it pulled back. No, the 10-minute time frame. I'm giving this thing a lot of time to set up. Why? Well, the market was chopping at the time, so it makes sense to use a higher time frame. The 10-minute gives us that perfect blend of higher time frame and lower time frame to confirm a setup is going to work. Reminder, if it holds over the pre-market high for, let's say three and a half candles called for 35 minutes, it's likely going to keep holding. If it holds above this level for 3 minutes or 9 minutes or 12 minutes or 15 minutes, it's not as good as 35 minutes. So we know the trend is confirmed. What was the entry? Well, the entry was a level and EMA retest. Look, it's a double confluence. It comes down perfectly, taps the pre-market high, which also lines up with the EMA and then continues to go higher. Double confluence, this is what we call an A plus area. You had the EMA crossing right over that key level. Price comes down. Buyers recognize it, both EMA trend traders and level retest traders. Doesn't get any better than that. We call it a double entendre. Don't get that confused with anything else you do in the bedroom. But hey, this is a perfect setup. Double confluence, double entry. We're hammering this thing. And what was the exit strategy? Well, my exit strategy follows a very clear system and order operations. I'm going to sell half at the high day. So look, we enter here, we pop, we get the high day. I'm going to sell half, lock in some of my risk, and I'm going to ride the rest with the EMA. You can see the EMA is just slowly cruising along. This is a gorgeous trade. It's systemized to the max. Look, when you sell half of your position and you have a little bit left, you're just going to let that thing cook. And lastly, did the setup fail or did the execution fail? Nothing failed, okay? This worked as per system, and I made $2,500, $2,548.45 off this exact entry and exit system. This is how you trade. This is how you journal it. This is in my journal, and it is ready to go. And I will look at this data in years from now, and when I see this setup again, I'll probably double and triple the size, and this 2,500 will turn into 25K. Why? Because data-driven decisions build confidence. Now, before I go, you have some homework. You're going to track your trades the next 90 days. If you want to make this happen by the end of the year, okay, we have midterms coming up, volatility is going to come back. It is about to be a party. You're going to quickly realize what needs to be fixed. You're going to say, hey, my entries suck, or my exits suck, or I have a problem doing this and this and this. That's very simple to fix. I likely have a YouTube video on it so you can go and fix it. Now you're going to have data-driven decisions of what your tendencies are, not just the tendencies in your mind, but what the data actually tells you. It'll take 90 days to completely change your life and transform your trading. So my question for you before I go is, well, what are you waiting for? That being said, I trade Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. We've been hitting absolutely insane plays almost every single day. It's free. So you can either scan this or you can go click the link down below, description, and pin comment below. Once again, make sure you're subscribed. I want to hit 20K here soon. It would mean a lot to me and make me happy. So with that being said, have a good night.